Later this hour, a look at the Sweet 16, and we'll talk Ole Miss basketball. State Rep Fred Shanks is joining me now. It's nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah, man. How you doing, buddy?
Good. You ready for the games tonight?
Yeah, well, I'm running for mayor over in the city of Brandon, so I'm gonna be a little tied up this evening and this weekend. So
Well,
I'll
I
be there in
mean,
spirit,
you
though.
can you can have the games on your phone. You just
That's right.
stream
That's
them
right.
so you
Yeah.
can be in touch with Ole Miss. Congratulations, the governor signed the income tax elimination bill into law. You finally made it happen. A long time coming. Some quirks
Absolutely.
that went into the process apparently, but break this
Yeah,
down for us.
just a little bit. Well, what we did is we've been working on this for several years now, and finally got it across the finish line. The governor was a big help on it, but it's a total. It's not just a tax cut. It's a whole plan. But we've got an income tax reduction. We've got the grocery tax reduction, which is, it's not really a grocery tax. It's just your regular sales tax, but it's reduced. And then there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment on a fuel tax, which is just an excise tax. And the whole idea behind it is just to move to a consumption-based tax. And but yeah, transformational. It's really gonna get a lot of new business here in Mississippi. We've been contacted by a lot of corporations and things, and this is one of the key factors on getting them here in the state. So it's a transformation.
It's something that I think will distinguish Mississippi from other states, especially in the area, and hopefully attract new people to live here and new businesses into the state.
Absolutely. So last year we had two special sessions in a session, and they were both for huge economic development plans. One was Amazon, and then one was a Marshall County plan that does industrial battery packs. And apparently, when that happened, you had a lot of CEOs around the country that were like, "Hey, why didn't I know about Mississippi? Where am I at?" And then the phones just started blowing up. So this is just another way to incentivize them to come to Mississippi and and to help their employees, bring in thousands of jobs. So yeah, it's a win-win. Absolutely.
How quickly will most Mississippians begin to feel this impact in their wallet?
Yeah, it'll start this summer. It'll start this summer, and the big deal is going to be the reduction in grocery tax. Municipalities get a lot of their money off of that, but they will be made whole. We're going to increase that diversion. The state will to cities, but yeah, they'll be catching that here shortly. Coming up,
So
and it goes from 7% to 5%.
we're talking to State Rep Fred Shanks here on SuperTalk Mississippi. What's the impact on the state budget? How are you going to make up for that revenue shortfall?
Well, the state's in financially very good shape right now, and we'll be able to cover it that way. And then we're going to redo some things in PERS as well to kind of help that situation, to rectify that situation. But yeah, we're doing really well right now. We've done better than we ever have this past just couple of years. So we're looking good, but it would be with just current revenue.
So take me behind the scenes on how all of this happened, because there were some differences of opinion on how to execute this between the State House and the State Senate. Some different bills that were proposed. How did it all finally come together? And do you think you got the best bill possible?
Yeah, I think we got a good one. The House plan was a little more aggressive, I would say, and we had a few more things in there that we're still going to be working on. We'll come back next year and kind of continue to work on it. But Speaker White had, in the summer or the off season, we had been talking about it and kind of what we were going to do and plans there. So we've been working on it for a while. We came out, really early on with it, and got it passed out of the House. And then, of course, the Senate, kind of working with them here really up to the finish line. And, of course, you're referring to the decimal typo. And,
Right.
that kind of, yeah, that kind of raised some eyebrows. Those things do happen.
Those quirks happen. Sure, you can
Yeah,
put
yeah,
a
they
decimal in
happen,
the wrong
but
place. You can
yeah.
include a reporter on your secret signal chat. I mean, these things happen.
Yeah, I know. But those things happen, and it was called, of course, and you got rectified. But yeah, it's just part of it, man. It's real time, So but
So
real proud
how
of it.
can How can other states look to what you're doing in Mississippi as a model for what they may want to do? I know in Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy, who is running for governor, has proposed
Yeah.
similar ideas. It's something that's been talked about in other states as well. Can Mississippi be a model for other, especially Republican-controlled states, to also eliminate their state income taxes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when we see what is going to be coming to Mississippi, I mean, there's already things in the pipeline that are working, and it's a lot of it has to do with what we just did. And of course, we've got Amazon. That's a big talking point. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're already seeing the progress just from that is talking about doing it. Everybody kind of knew it was coming, the past couple of years, and we finally crossed that finish line now. But yeah, oh yeah, all the other states are going to take notice. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity. Is there any concern? Let me play devil's advocate. I mean, with all the talk about eliminating and reducing the size of the federal government, how may that affect the federal money coming into the state? Is there concern about how the Mississippi Department of Education may be affected and how you fund schools in the state?
Yeah. Certainly that's all a concern. People far smarter than me on these tax issues are, kind of I'll give it the green light, and what it'll do is it will create more revenue. It will create all these things. It will create jobs. So, just real positive about the effects that it's going to have.
We're talking to Fred Shanks, state rep from Rankin County. You're also working on some other important legislation, including the PBM bill. Take us behind that.
Well, to give you the 30-second version, a PBM is a pharmacy benefit manager. It's a switch. So if you go to your pharmacist to fill your prescription, they submit your prescription through the PBM to the insurance company. And they have kind of become a monopoly in themselves. They're all owned by the insurance companies. And what it does is it raise cost on the customer, and also it decreases what the independent pharmacies can make, and then they will come back later and they'll claw back money for various reasons to the independent pharmacies, and there's no recourse on rectifying that for them. So we've come up with some legislation that we're working on with the Senate. It's almost there, that will introduce some transparency into what they're doing, and also it'll show kind of what their price system is. It's called NADAC, and it's kind of cloaked in a little mystery. And if you'll remember, a couple years ago,
there's zero transparency on health insurance and pharmaceutical bills.
None. And on PBM contracting, last I heard there was one person. It was a lady in Washington D.C. that knew how to do or did PBM contracting, that does the contracts. That's how in depth it is. And if you remember, the auditor got $55 million back from Centene, which is a PBM here in the state. So yeah, there needs to be some type of regulation in there for the PBMs. So we're working on that. We're real close to it. We are working with the Senate right now.
Well, as you increase transparency, somebody on the C-SPAR text line wants to know if the bill will actually have any teeth to enforce.
I hope so. We were looking at concurring with the Senate, and personally, that's what I wanted to do. I came from the independent pharmacy world. That's where I worked for almost 30 years. So I hope so. We're still, those negotiations are going on right now and continue through the weekend.
What do you expect the impact to be on prescription drugs, drug prices? Will this mean lower costs for consumers?
Well, of course, the PBMs will have you believe it's going to raise cost. I personally don't believe that after being in the business for a long time. I think it will help the independent pharmacies. And bringing in transparency and just shedding some light. Yeah, I think it's going to have a major impact on the cost. And it'll show, it'll just show. Yeah.
It's a good first step. I think there certainly needs to be more reform in the entire insurance industry and healthcare system that we haven't seen. Fred Shanks here on SuperTalk Mississippi. Just to kind of wrap things up, tell me what's happening in the Brandon area around Rankin County that you're proud of right now.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of things going on. I'm currently working on getting a fire truck and a bunch of police vehicles for the city of Brandon. It's kind of one of the things I'm working on, and everything's going good. And like I said, I'm running for mayor, so I'll be that's Tuesday, so I'll be just pounding the ground this weekend. So just trying to sleep when I can.
Everybody needs to get out to vote for the municipal elections as well. We want to get a high
Absolutely.
voter turnout. Brett, it's great to meet you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you.
Got some headlines from SuperTalk Mississippi News now.